I'm a teacher. And I am a teacher because I'm an optimist. I believe in the power of my pupils, and I have hope in and I care about future generations. However, the current downward trend in education financing suggests that government feel otherwise. If we do not finance education, quite frankly, we are giving up on the future. Investing in education is the best investment that any country can make. It's an investment that will pay itself back 1,000-fold for individuals, for society, and for the planet. And governments are the duty bearers to the right to education and have the obligation to finance quality education for every one of their citizens. However, achieving SDG 4 is a global responsibility. Therefore, richer countries must do their part to fill education financing gaps wherever they exist. And if we want to transform education, investment is the only way. We seem to agree upon that. There are no shortcuts. To answer your question, firstly, we need to increase the size of national education budgets, as well as the share of finance going to education. And the only way to do that is through tax justice. To increase the size of national budgets, we need both domestic and global tax justice. In addition to increasing the tax base domestically, it is essential to ensure that all companies pay their fair share of tax and that the tax loopholes are closed. In fact, when corporations and the super-rich abuse tax, they deny millions of children their right to education. But what if we collected that tax instead? And secondly, not quite so surprisingly maybe, we need to invest in teachers. Money spent on my profession should not be viewed as a cost, but recognized as the investment it is. Qualified teachers and education support personnel with decent employment conditions and attractive salaries are crucial for quality education. The only way to stop teacher shortages is through investment in the profession. You know, globally we need 69 million more colleagues in the teaching profession if we are going to achieve SDG 4 by 2030. And in my own country, Sweden, 60% of the teachers who have left the profession would be willing to come back if salaries and conditions were improved. Investment in teachers also means rejecting austerity. And here I want to say a couple of words about constraints within public services and the public sector wage bill. The International Monetary Fund continues to give coercive policy advice to governments, forcing them to cut or freeze public sector wage bills. Research we did in 15 countries revealed that the recommended IMF cuts added up to nearly $10 billion. This is the equivalent of cutting over 3 million primary school teachers. And remember what I said about us needing more colleagues. In those 15 countries, just 1 point rise in the percentage of GDP spent on the sector public sector wage bill would allow for the recruitment of 8 million new teachers, more or less addressing all the teachers' shortages. So we call upon the IMF to lift public wage bill constraints in all countries experiencing a teacher shortage.
Thank you.